The thoughts of Malachi O'Doherty. The shortage of women in politics is a perennial problem, but the Republic is taking firm action on it. Legislation is going through the Dáil to oblige parties to have a 30% quota of women on their candidate lists or face stiff financial penalties. Women in politics here are anxious to increase their representation, but as Shane Harrison reports, there are very different views on how to make that happen.
Conway Mill in West Belfast is now a community resource centre with small enterprise units, but was once, amongst other things, a thriving workplace where hundreds of mill workers, millies, plied their trade. And this statue just off the Crumlin Road also commemorates the millies, Belfast remembering its female workers of many years ago.
It was to be 10 women. It ended up, it was 18 women. I think 14 women successfully completed.
This week, certificates were given out to bus tour guides who, over the next few days, will remind those taking their tour of women's contribution, including that of the millies, to the city's history. A history many believe is too often ignored. And in much the same way, too, they say, is the contribution women can make to politics here.
The life experiences of men are different than the life experiences of women. For instance, women are much more likely to be the main carer, let's say, in their family. So when they're making decisions, they take into account those issues, so such as childcare, education, health, social security, budgeting. And not that men don't do that, but women just bring a different perspective. And I don't think that that's there, and women are not there in enough numbers in Stormont at this moment in time.
The political parties say they would like to see more women in politics. At the moment, only about 1 in 5 of the MLAs is female. But women, it's said, are reluctant to put themselves forward because of what are known as the 5 C's. Cash. Women, especially those in the home, don't have as much as men. Childcare, culture, confidence and candidate selection.
Yes, we do need to ask more women. And in doing that, it's not enough just to ask them. We have to say, this is what we're going to do for you. I mean, I can say to you, if I asked a woman to go and do something, the immediate reaction is, oh no, I can't do that. You know, and there's a confidence issue there, and we have to look at that. And what do we need to put in place to give women the confidence to go and say, right, I'm going to stand as a public representative.
Calm down, dear. Calm down. Listen to the doctor. Calm down and listen to the doctor.
David Cameron denied being sexist, but many women are put off by what they see as the male and boorish nature of politics.
I said calm down.
So how do the parties get more female involvement and more accurately reflect the wider society in a job which many say, unlike most others, is 24/7? The Republic is going down the path of quotas. Parties will cease to get state funding after the next general election if they have more than 70% of their candidates of either sex, men or women, and further penalised if more than 60% by 2020. It's a move supported by Sinn Féin. Many in the SDLP see some merit in the idea of quotas, but the party hasn't yet endorsed it as a policy, while Alliance and the 2 main unionist parties oppose the very concept.
If I was to get here just because I was a woman, I would doubt myself continually whether I was good enough. And to know that I've got here, I got 4,500 votes, first preference votes, and the people were behind me. The party was behind me. I got so much encouragement, and I think that gives you the confidence to go forward.
Merit. I mean, any woman who gets elected, regardless of their ideology or their political opinions, whether they're from the left or the right, any woman has had to do twice the amount of work, let me tell you that. So anyone who says women aren't here on merit, we are here on merit, but we need to make sure there's a critical mass of women.
While the parties here say they would like to see more women MLAs, they are nevertheless divided by policies and traditions. Many of Margaret Thatcher's greatest critics were women. Sisterhood has its limits. But there is one area where there is agreement. Politics could be more family-friendly for both men and women.
I'm very fortunate that my husband works from home, and I also represent East Belfast, so I don't have to travel that far. So therefore, you know, I have made that decision, and you know, at least I know my children are picked up and fed in the evening and things like that. But it must be very, very difficult for people from further afield to do all the travelling, etc. as well.
Jeg sætter landsstyreformanden ind. han allerede kommet?
Ja.
The Scandinavian countries, which put great emphasis on childcare, are often held up as role models for encouraging women's involvement in politics and public life. And the international hit television show Borgen features a Danish woman prime minister.
Han får ikke nogen penge, han får ikke nogen undskyldning.
Within a year, life imitated art when the country got its first female leader. Her husband is the son of the former Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock and his wife Glynis, a former MEP. Back in Northern Ireland, these students at Queen's University have organised a tea party for International Women's Day. Long gone are the days when women in political parties made the tea while the men made the decisions. And while there has been greater female involvement in politics, those lobbying for more believe the parties could also do more.
The women who are our MLAs or our councillors have been asked by senior people within the party to run. So this means it's not that they're putting themselves forward, and that's maybe not such a barrier. It's the parties need to ask their capable women within the parties to run. So that could be a very quick solution, I think, to having more women in political decision making.
Having more female MLAs would better reflect the wider society, but wouldn't heal its many divisions. And while the tone of political debate might soften, hard-to-resolve problems would remain. One wonders whether she would have been amused by the turn of events since her reign.